G'day, my name is Rich Hungerford and I am the Senior Instructor here at Bush Law Survival and Tracking School in Australia. Now my background is I'm a former Australian SAS soldier, team leader and instructor. And that's where I basically learned my formal survival skills. But they built on a long history of personal exposure to survival sort of culture and abilities from being raised in rural sort of environments and also spending some time in Papua New Guinea, which I'll talk about in a bit more depth later on. But it basically all rounded me out to be a formally qualified Army survival instructor and combat survival instructor from the Special Forces space. So that's where I come from, but I've also been teaching and having extensive exposure to different instructors from around the world and different cultures for a long, long time. I've been involved in survival as a discipline for over 25 years. Now, that's been an incredible journey and it has never stopped and it will never stop. Survival is one of those incredible spaces where there's always more to learn. There's always another plant resource that you can study further. There's always another technique that you can go and learn from someone else and bring into your repertoire of skills and knowledge. So survival is never an expert cup-full environment. As soon as you've reached that status in your own mind, as far as I'm concerned, you've limited your learning from that point forwards. And it is a journey. It's a fantastic journey. Now, during this course, we're going to talk about primitive survival skills. Now, I'm going to explain to you why the term primitive is in vogue. And it's nothing to do in a derogatory sense of looking at ancient humans in a lesser perspective. It's actually complementing them and bringing them into full acknowledgement and honouring their incredible resilience. And I think that's a value add to the modern world. And we'll talk more about that during the course. So, primitive survival skills is foundationally about the term survival. It's about making sure we've got a layer of redundancy, an onion skin approach to making sure I can meet my base human life support requirements. Shelter, water, fire, food. Very, very important. Because if I don't have a modern tool, if I don't have modern equipment, I don't have a tent, a tarp or anything else to keep me warm and protected from the elements or even clothing, I should realistically be able to do that with what is available in the natural world. So if I'm in a situation where I don't have a shelter, a tent or a tarp of something of that nature that could protect me from the elements, I can source what I require to keep me alive from the natural environment around me. And that's what primitive skills is all about. We're going to focus on the course very heavily on the different approach that is necessary when we don't have a lot of modern equipment. So in the normal priority order of things, we're looking at shelter, water, fire, food. In the primitive space, it's slightly different. Shelter can sometimes slip to the top of that sort of order in terms of if I find a natural shelter like a cave or a rock overhang or even a decent tree, I've got shelter sorted out. But if I need to manufacture anything to keep me from losing my body heat, then I need to go one step before that and make a tool that will enable me to do that. So in this course we're going to start with things like rock and stone tool making from a survival perspective. We're then going to look at cordage. Tools like rock, bone, shell and cordage are our foundational toolbox in the primitive survival space. From there we'll look at food systems, fire lighting systems and so forth as we move down the scale in the order of life priorities for a human being. And there might be a little bit of moving around in that space because that's naturally the way things get done. But if you can just follow me on the journey as we move through the course and see how it unfolds and unpacks for you, the student or the purveyor of this particular material, I'm hoping it'll enhance your understanding of what is a survival priority and what's a craft. I'm hoping it'll give you a layer of redundancy if you ever get caught in a situation where you don't have a man-made, manufactured, fit-for-purpose survival item. You can look around and manufacture from the natural world what you require to keep yourself alive. Fundamentally, the world survival is about keeping you as a human being alive. So primitive survival skills is literally the story and the journey of looking at what the elders did to keep themselves alive and in leading themselves onto a situation of not just surviving but thriving in the natural world.